And a very good day to you. I'm Mike Perry, and you're watching and listening to the Minnesota American Legion Patriots podcast. We're coming to you from post 384 in Dodge Center. That's where we're at today for a special podcast. And we're going to be talking with a couple of gentlemen here, but we're going to talk about the honor flight that happened September 11th. Is that correct? September 11th of this year. And we have a couple of gentlemen here with us. First of all, Tom Irwin from Post 384 right here in Dodge Center. He was on that honor flight. Jim, you went with, right?
I was the guardian to Tom.
Tom, welcome to the show. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah, you're welcome very much.
So, all three of us here are Army boys, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
When did you go in, Tom?
When did I go in the service?
Yeah.
Well, I was just 16 years old, 17 when I went there. Dad and I got in an argument.
Oh, you did?
And I said, all right, that's it. I went to town and I enlisted in the service.
You did?
Yeah.
You were going to show your dad, huh? Yep. You did.
Yeah.
So tell me, where did your military travels take you?
Well, first to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, we went down. That's where I took my basic training. Then we went to Fort Chaffee, Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
That's where I took my advanced training.
Yep.
Then I ended up in Augusta, Georgia.
Oh.
That's where I become a military police.
Okay, military police, huh? MP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was sergeant third class at that time.
Right. Okay. Where did you serve?
Well, we were drifting traffic to the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
And you done that in different shifts.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I always had the first shift.
You did?
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Oh, no, it was neck and turf at times, but it
Uh-huh.
was pretty good.
Uh-huh. Terry, how long were you in the military?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Uh-huh, okay. Let's talk a little bit about the honor flight. How did this come about?
Well, Jim, it was 2 years ago?
I think it was 3 years ago.
3 years ago we started. He come and mentioned to me one day, and yeah, I said I think that'd be pretty nice. And so he'd been working on it for quite a while, but he finally got it where we got the date set and everything, and it was the greatest thing that I considered in my life. Really one of the most important. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what you saw during the time you had that you
mean
participated.
when I was in the service?
No, on the honor flight.
Oh, the honor flight. You couldn't ask for a better day that we had.
Uh-huh.
It was a beautiful morning, nice and warm. Sun was shining.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing, we got off the plane and we got on our buses. Then we started seeing the sights. But the most important to me were the unknown soldier, were the guy marching.
Uh-huh.
That was really something to me.
Sure. Right. Well, you saw the Iwo Jima Memorial, the Women's Memorial,
Yeah,
and then Air Force. You went to the Navy Yard.
yeah, we went there, all of them.
What was the feeling with the people you were with? How many were you with? How many in your group?
Oh, I don't know how many we had, but it was a nice bunch. They were all nice gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
Even we had 5 women, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was 80 80 veterans that were honored for the flight, and then there was 80-some guardians. They had a guardian for each veteran that wants to go to the memorial.
Okay, all right.
Then they have guides that are on the buses. They have
The
bus
doc,
captains that make sure everybody's in and out, they're on the right bus, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite involved when you get to it, but
Mm-hmm. So how does one get on an honor flight? Can you explain that a little bit?
I heard about it before, back in 3 years ago. I had heard about it, and I thought it'd be something interesting even for myself to do. And Tom and I became friends back in the campground years ago, so I asked Tom if he'd be interested in doing that, and he said he would. Well, at the same time we were doing this, COVID came along and kind of postponed things a little bit for us.
Mm-hmm.
Once that was all done and over with, I made a phone call and asked if we were still available, and she said that this gal, this Jerry Kaiser and his wife Sharon are the ones that put this on, or
Uh-huh.
Sarah, I believe. And they've done 24 honor flights now. But anyway, they're the ones that put this together, and it just so happened that she called me one day and said, "Are you still interested?" And I said, "Yes, we're still interested." And was 6 weeks later, while we was done and everything was over with by that time. So,
Hmm.
so that's how it goes quick. But
It-
there's a lot of things you got to do before you get there, though.
Is it a one day you're out, you're back in that same night?
It's a one-day trip. You fly out early in the morning. You get on your buses. You do the tours to the memorials, the Korean Memorial, the World War II, the Women's Memorial. All the memorials you go to. This flight even we had one gal that was for the Women's Memorial, and we had one fellow that was a World War II veteran that was also on this flight. So it's quite a variety of people that are on this flight.
So, Jim, your thoughts? I mean, we heard a little bit from Tom about his feelings on that flight. What stood out?
What stood out is it's the camaraderie that you have with the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're not only us, but everybody that was on that flight and on that tour. It was just like reminiscing all over again,
Sure.
bringing back memories. Just because we were in the Army, there was a lot of Navy people, there was a lot of Air Force people, there was a lot of other Marine people, the Coast Guard, all them that have been to different areas of the service, why they were also involved in this too. So
And what's unique about that is it's like you're all part of one.
I consider ourselves all brothers in arms, one way or another. In fact, they mentioned that a couple times while we were on the flight. And
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing that I enjoyed on the flight was everything of what we did, but on the way down, they have what they call mail call, and everybody that's been in the service knows what mail call is all about.
Sure.
And before they took us on the flight, they had the families and friends, before the veterans that we were supporting knew anything about it, had all write thank you notes or whatever they wanted to talk about to this veteran that was going on the flight. And you should have seen the tears on some of these guys' face.
I can imagine. Yeah.
They were it's amazing how people just come forward and just talk about. There was people you didn't even know had
Right.
written thank you notes to these people, and I think that's the biggest thing that I got out of it is a lot of people when they come home from the service, don't get that thank you.
So you're a member of Post 553 out of Welcome. That's your hometown, right?
Hometown, yes,
Hometown.
it is.
When did you serve?
I served in 60s, the 67, 68, 69. I come home in 70.
Tell me about your service a little bit.
Well, that was kind of the wickedest time of ever to be in the service. I was
Right.
drafted, of course, and at that time, why you didn't know you knew where you were going, but you didn't know what you were going to do there. And I ended up being in a helicopter unit for the year and a half I was over there. So
You got your share of.
I got my share of what I needed. I didn't want to see anything like that again, put it that way. So
Yeah. So, while I still have you here, before I turn back over to Tom, tell me about the American Legion. What are your thoughts? You're a Legion member.
I am a Legion member. I've been the commander of the post. I've went through all the stages. I guess I was an honor guard, the whole thing. It's a unity of the unit or of the Legion that I like about it. I mean, I see more and more people coming out. They have military hats, they have Legion hats, they have which is something that should have been done years ago.
Sure.
And now it's coming back, and I really appreciate that. So
Great. Well, Tom, that is that honor flight, an experience of a lifetime, huh?
I really enjoyed the honor flight. It was something that I'll never forget. I really thought there was several different things that I really kept in my memory.
Sure.
But of course, I was in Korea. I was supposed to go in, but we had come up and the commander and says, I got good news and I got bad news, gentlemen. You know, the war is over.
Oh, okay.
And he says, the good news is the war is over, but now you're going to guard stockade prisoners. So that's what we did.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I had a work detail with 4 guys. I carried the sawed-off shotgun, and we picked up garbage. Every day we were out there doing that. I would say that maybe there was a couple thousand.
So what would you tell a young person about the military?
Well, to myself, I was just a young kid when I went in. And anybody would ask me about, or talk about the service, it's the best thing that you can do. It's the experience that you get when you're there, and the people that you work with and everything really is the best that there is.
Sure. Nowadays, it's even getting better. You can get yourself a nice scholarship to go to college, and
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't have all that.
Right. Yeah. Well, the times change, and
The times changed, and it was to the better.
You bet. Absolutely.
And we got a wonderful country, and I'm proud to be American.
That's great. Super.
Been in the service with just a young kid. I learned a lot when I was in.
That's great. Any final comments from you, Jim?
all I gotta say, if you ever get a chance, do the honor flight. They do one a year. Every state has one, I think. We were lucky ones this last time that we were the only group that went to Washington D.C. On 9/11, and but the people, the parades, the everything that they put on for you when you're going into these places, it's just amazing how many people are there waiting for you to
Yeah, great.
give you, thank yous and all that other stuff. But
Yeah.
I would recommend it to anybody that wants to go.
All right. Tom, thanks for being with us today.
Well, I really enjoyed it, and I thank you too for doing this.
Well, we like to get the word out and let people know who our veterans are, and especially something as positive as this honor flight. And
Well, the honor flight, there's no other place to be to go and see, and to see what the people have done for us.
that's great. Super.
But there was one branch was a Korean, and Jim, we went to all of them, and then we walked up this hill. They have got 12 guys, statues going up to this hill for the Korean War. And you get up there, and we sit around, and the officer that was in charge, he says, "Tis up." He salute. So we all saluted. There were 7 of us up there that did the first bunch. But after that, I suppose there was about 35, 40 of them.
Uh-huh.
But that was the most stood out in my mind. I really enjoyed it. The whole thing.
Great. Well, thank you both for your service. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being with us on this kind of special honor flight review. Tom, it's great to see you.
No, thank you very much.
You bet.
I enjoyed it.
Tom Irwin, post 384 here in Dodge Center, along with Jim Garbers, with the post 553 out of Dodge. Not Dodge. Welcome. How could I forget? Anyway, you've been listening to the Minnesota American Legion Patriots podcast. I'm Mike Perry, your host. And until we meet again, be the one.